Good morning. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Thank you for receiving us this morning. The representative of the President of the ECOWAS Commission, Madame Nothemba Chibweya, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission's Forum of SADC countries, Madame Monica Frassoni, whom I met just a few minutes ago, but it feels already like a friendship. Welcome, representing here as President of ECOWAS, representatives of political parties, chairpeople from the many different countries here, colleagues from the diplomatic community, and let me otherwise, as it is so often said in Nigeria, stand on existing protocol. Also so elegantly produced, I must say, by the chairperson this morning, remembering almost every single person in the room. So I would definitely not try to replicate that, but merely to stress that I am extremely pleased and honored to be affiliated as the European Union to this very important event. When I met with the chairperson, Yakubu, the very first time just arriving to the country, he already mentioned this event, and we have all been looking forward to being here today. Now, when President Buhari visited the European Parliament in Strasbourg, he's attributed for saying that he, above all, thanked God for his electoral victory, but he then thanked technology for making the transition of power possible. Whether those words were in fact said or not, I think they reflect extremely well the importance of technology and the potential of technology in electoral processes. And we have all seen how the right application of technology can make a huge positive impact, and we have seen how the wrong application can lead to exactly the opposite result. So today's debate is vital to share experiences and to learn from successes and mistakes alike. And I wish to thank really from outset our host from INEC for bringing together so many different key stakeholders from Africa and Europe alike in a bid to share best practices and to review important lessons learned in election administration and quality control in electoral processes. Let me also thank our partners from ECOWAS. I know you've been working very hard to make this possible. So the support to democracy worldwide is not just consistent with the European Union's fundamental principles. It is our clear interest and a crucial tool for our foreign policy. So fundamentally, our societies and the stability of our societies depend on the existence of democratic institutions and on a rights-based approach where these institutions always and without exceptions should be designed to provide services for the citizens of our countries and not the other way around. The alternative to the democratic path is not desirable for any of us. Nevertheless, we are at a stage in history where democratic and fundamental human rights principles continue to come under scrutiny on the world stage, in Africa, and to a certain extent within European borders alike. So we should never take it easily, the continued consolidation of democracy. We should never take our democratic rights and privileges for granted. On the contrary, we need to continue nourishing the democratic path. And that is exactly what the conference today is all about, and that is why it is so extremely important to have this debate and to share information and experiences. Now, for the European Union, we try to walk the talk, not only to say these things in speeches, but actually to follow up with real action. So when we support this conference today, this is only an integral part of a much wider partnership between Europe and Africa. I'm told that since around the year 2000, Europe has supported African countries with around 1 billion euros in funding for democratic institutions and for electoral processes. Today's event is part of that wider picture, and of course a part of a very strategic and important partnership that we have here in Nigeria, building on the vision and the leadership of our Nigerian partners, because that is, by the end of the day, the secret of any successful engagement in supporting democracy building and development anywhere, to build on the national ownership. But beyond that, we work in 48 countries in Africa, currently with programming of around 400 million euros ongoing. Of course, many of you have received and seen the work of European Union election observation missions, and this is indeed a crown jewel in our engagement to promote democracy. But our work goes so much further than that in provision of technical expertise, in partnering on building institutions, and of course in engaging on a day-to-day basis also with providing hardware and solutions tailored for every country, because we must again recognize that there is not a one-size-fits-all. It is the local necessities and the particularities of every single country that needs to determine the kind of actions that we take. So here in Nigeria, ahead of the 2019 general elections, you are, of course, at a pivotal moment that allows the country to take important steps to improve the electoral processes. I'm told by the chairman that he has conducted, I think, 179 elections, big or small, since the last general election. So we know that there is a lot of valuable experience to build on, but there is still more that can be done in terms of implementation of electoral reform. We call out again to decision makers in Nigeria to carefully listen to the ECOWAS principles of implementing reforms in due time and not immediately before the elections, to make sure that all the necessary reforms are conducted in time and with the necessary institutional follow-up. So, ladies and gentlemen, we continue to call on all key stakeholders to ensure effective contributions to the electoral process in order to strengthen democracy across the continent. You are all champions of democracy. I know that you are on the firing line quite often. You do extremely valuable job as ambassadors in promotion of democracy, and with that, of development and stabilities in your country. So I feel honored to be here with you today. And again, thank you to INEC, thank you to ECOWAS, and thanks to everybody that has been traveling from near and far. And I wish you very good and fruitful deliberations. Many, many thanks.